Hey guys, Mystic Diamond here, and it's time for the 6th class here at the Mystic Diamond School for those on the path of ascension and process of transcendence. Hello and welcome to all of you. Now, if you did miss the last class, we were talking about guides, your team, as well as your higher self. And today we are talking about two extremely important topics, reacting angelic and discernment. Now, I do need to let you guys know that this class is going to get technical in certain places, and we are getting a little more advanced as we do progress. So if there's anything you don't completely understand, wish for me to elaborate, or have any questions on, please do not hesitate to ask me, and I'll be more than happy to go into more detail with you guys about that, okay? Alright, so let's start off by discussing reacting angelic. So, when it comes to the path of ascension and process of transcendence, there are many beings who walk the path of ascension and the process of transcendence. Some of those beings are angelics, and then there are other beings as well. But reacting angelic is what I have found the best way, to be, regardless of what being you are on the path of ascension. I will get to a point where I discuss the path of descension only because it's necessary for you guys to know both for the sake of polarity. But to start off this video, we are going to be discussing reacting angelic. As a being that is walking your path of ascension and going through your process of transcendence, there are certain expectations of how you hold yourself. How you hold yourself to humanity, how you hold yourself to other beings, how you hold yourself in general. Now, it is one thing when you are going off and energetically purging something, and when you are on your own. Absolutely, it's another thing when you are coming into soul core wounds, particularly prior to you going through your activation. But once you have been activated, and you are in the soul matrix, and, moving through your path of transcendence, there is a certain level of respect and expectation in the way that you do hold yourself that will lead to transcendence, as opposed to leading to descension. So let's discuss these, shall we? As I said, regardless of if you're an angelic or another being, these are great principles to live by, especially when it comes to others around you, whether it be friends, family, those you are guiding, those you are doing readings for. I have come across many different people who claim to be beings on the path of ascension, and they really surprise me because some of them do fall into the categories that are unbecoming of being what I call an angelic. So I need to start off by telling you guys how I came into this. When I first started walking my path of ascension and going through my process of transcendence, one thing that kept coming back to me was path of righteousness, path of righteousness, path of righteousness. And it would come through to me from my team when I was in the soul matrix, when things would happen that normally my human would have a rah-rah over instantly. Let's come up with an example, shall we? That's a rather lame example, but okay, we'll go with it. Let's say that I have prepared a lovely dish for myself, and I'm going to get to it later when I have time to eat, which that makes a lot of sense, because if I have time to prepare a dish, it's one thing, but I don't normally eat at what's considered a normal dinner time because I have so much to do. And then I go to the fridge and find someone's eaten my food. The human wants to have a bit of a rah-rah and be like, who ate my food? In that scenario, this did not happen to me, but in this scenario, my team would have come through and said, path of righteousness, path of righteousness. It is unbecoming of being an angelic, me being an angelic, it's unbecoming of being an angelic to rah-rah over something like that. There are much better ways to deal with them. So, I do want to quickly give you guys the definition of path of righteousness. I did have it in front of me, there it is. Okay, so the path of righteousness includes all of the things that we have actually up here, so I can go into those things for you. The path of righteousness includes, so here is your little angel in the stick figure, lovely. I'm sure you guys are used to my artistry by now. And a little symbol of love and light over here, while meanwhile, oh, I was going to put horns on him and give him flames coming out of his hands, but I forgot to do that. Okay, this side is the fear and hate side. Angelic, unbecoming of being an angelic. So let's go through the angelic side. Integrity. Having integrity is a very big part of being an angelic. That is becoming of being an angelic. Honesty. Yes, being honest, not only is it a very big part of being an angelic, it is very unbecoming of being an angelic for me to come on here and say to you guys, alright, I'm going to teach you everything that there is to know to do with the path of ascension. All you need to know is you have a counterpart and you're going to have lovely, fun, happy times and everything's going to be sugary sweet with cotton candy. If I were to do that, I would be lying to you guys. It wouldn't be, it wouldn't be being honest to you guys. It wouldn't be having that honesty with you guys. And I'm just realizing I've written truthful and honesty in the same thing, but bless. It wouldn't be honest with you. So, and it would be very unbecoming of being an angelic. For me, thank you, they're bringing through the example of clairsentience. If I would say to you that clairsentience is the most beautiful clairsense there is, because what happens is you receive these energetic attacks, but what they feel like is a cotton ball going onto your arm. It would be extremely unbecoming of being an angelic, because for me, it's not truthful, so it does hold me back. And that would affect my throat chakra. I will be going into chakras in a video coming up soon. But so for me, but for you guys as well, it's totally unbecoming of being an angelic because I'm lying and I'm setting you up for disaster when you do come into clairsentience, if you just happen to come into it. You know what I mean? So honesty is a very big part of being an angelic. Faithfulness. Faithfulness is a big one, especially in the soul matrix, where the key word, and I've said this before, is patience. So if you recall... Okay, yes, thank you. If you recall, in the last class I was talking about guides, teams, and higher self. And I was saying that when you commune with your team in the soul matrix, there will be times where your team may take a little while to get back to you because that is a test of patience. Are you going to go off and have a rah-rah, or are you going to have faith that the answer is going to come to you? You just have to be a little bit patient and surrender to your process. Surrendering and humility comes up in the high school portion. If we are to look at this as, say, the elementary/primary school version, the high school portion, I will be discussing surrendering and humility when we get to that, which we're not too far away from, which is nice. So faithfulness, very much a big one. Having faith in your process. Having faith in your team, or if you're a second waver, having faith in your higher self, having faith in your guides when you are being taken off to do things, having faith that when you are blocked from doing something, that it is for your higher good, having faith that when you are being cut off from, say, a friend that you loved, that it is for your higher good, highest good, and for your highest good. So faithfulness is a very big part of being an angelic. Kindness. And I want to say a big thank you to someone in the Facebook group. Again, I'm going to keep it anonymous, but there was someone in the Facebook group who put up a post about kindness very recently. Thank you. Beautiful. Because that's very much a big part of being an angelic, showing that kindness. If there is something that does come up for you to show that kindness. So let's say there's an example where you come across someone who has fallen over and scraped their knee. Let's go with this as an example. There are humans, bless them, and we'll get to bless in a moment. There are humans who would just walk right by. You know what, not my problem, I don't need to deal with that, I'm off, bye. Kindness. Taking those few extra moments. Are you okay? Oh my gosh, I saw that. Are you okay? Is there anything I can do? That is, of course, being helpful as well, but it's being kind. Thank you. They're bringing through the film Mary Poppins, bless Julie Andrews, where she says, I am kind, but extremely firm. And that's been coming through for the past couple of days to me, which is hilarious. Yeah, regardless of how you are talking to others, kindness is a very big part of being an angelic. Being a word that I really won't say, because it will be unbecoming of being an angelic, but being the opposite to being kind is very unbecoming of being an angelic. So, yeah, being mindful of these things, including kindness. Truthfulness, yes, as well. Yeah, honesty is more when you are discussing the what you've learnt. So, look, at the end of the day, there was a time when I was in your position, learning everything to do with the path of ascension, not only through practical experience, but also theoretically. When I was in your position, and I learnt it all, and then came to the realization that I learnt it all because I would one day be in this position. The reality is, some of you will end up being in this position, whether it is you are doing videos, or a website, or whatever it is. Maybe it's even that you're just going on something like Twitter, and every day writing something like, oh, remember, when it comes to becoming doing something that is becoming of being an angelic, to be kind, for example. So, being honest about the process makes a very big difference for all the reasons I've already said. Truthfulness is more you being truthful with others about human situations. So, you know, if someone says, oh gosh, I mean, there are a million examples I could use, which makes it harder to pluck one. If someone says, are you okay? And you say you're fine when you're not, that's not being truthful. Sometimes truthfulness is one of the biggest challenges for us because we are taught through human conditioning. Bless human conditioning. We will get into human conditioning at some point, and that's going to be a really big video, so watch out for that one. We are taught through human conditioning that a white lie is totally acceptable because it's a white lie. Well, not really. As a 9-year-old who I happen to be a part of her life because I see her mum quite a bit, we're friends, has told me many, many times, a bunch of white lies leads to a really bad lie. So even white lies are bad. That's what she tells me. Even white lies are bad. And it's true. Even white lies are bad. So being truthful. So sometimes it is a challenge. So, you know, Stacy, I'm just coming up with an example. So if your name's Stacy, this is not about you. But Stacy comes up to you and says, oh, so what do you really think about my relationship with Mark? The white lie, if you don't agree with it, would be, oh, I think you guys are fabulous together and you're really happy, blah, 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 blah. Where the truth would be, just, you know, some of the things that are going on, you know, it doesn't seem like you are happy, or whatever it is, you know, tailored to whatever the experience is. But you see what I mean? It can be challenging to speak the truth to others. But this is all part of reacting angelically. Okay? It's all part of it. Now, as I say, whether you're an angelic or another being that's on the path of ascension, through ascension, this guide will help you to, as I say, it leads to transcendence. It helps you to transcend. Where the more you lie, the more... so let's go with lying and go through that as far as the implications it has. The more you lie, the tougher it's going to be because lies fester and you have to deal with that in the sense of the physical reality. In the sense of chakras, your throat chakra will become blocked because of all the lying that you're doing and the inability you have to speak your truth. It is unbecoming of it being an angelic. It will hold you back because you haven't been able to go through the process you were meant to go through by telling the truth. So it does push you back quite a bit. And I've spoken about this in some of the readings and some of the things I say, which is this is helping push you forward, or that is actually bringing you back. And it's easy to toss that phrase aside if you don't realize the impact of those words. And they are much bigger than some people might believe. Something that holds you back is holding you back from transcending. Something that helps you to move forward is helping you to transcend. And this is not something to underestimate. Truthfulness is definitely one of them. Now, we get to the one that I am so happy to discuss, because I'm sure there are quite a few of you who maybe, if you haven't heard this before, are thinking, oh, Mystic Diamond is so religious, or, oh, why does he keep doing that? I'm going to get into bless right now with you. I use bless as a precursor, a preterm, if you will, to a lot of things. Bless you, bless him, bless her, bless that, bless this. And the reason for this is because one part of something that is unbecoming of being an angelic, and I have it down the bottom here, is swearing. Swearing is very much unbecoming of being an angelic, and unbecoming of anyone, really, who's on the path of ascension. If you see anyone, okay, they're telling me to swear for the example, which I will, but even now, you probably saw me go, oh, are you sure? Like, really? Really? But, okay, I will for the example. So, brace yourselves, I am going to swear. You probably will never hear me swear again. Okay, if you hear anyone that's doing a video or whatever, and they say, how the fuck are you guys? It always shocks me when we get things like this that come from those who are ascending, or who claim they are ascending, because it is very unbecoming of whatever being you are. I say angelic because that's what I am, but it's very unbecoming to swear. And it's classless too, in the sense of looking at it from a human 3D perspective, a physical reality perspective. It's classless, but it's unbecoming of being an angelic, because your process is about you ascending and growing, and swearing, it holds you back. It is unbecoming of being an angelic. Now, am I saying that I do not ever swear? No, I'm not saying that. I do, you know? That the human part of me, the little human, will have a rah-rah, it will happen. But it is much, much, much less than it has been prior to me being activated. Not that I swore a lot prior to being activated anyway, but that was a whole story with my past and how my mother was, but that's something else. We'll move on. But especially if I'm doing a video, whether it's a reading, a class, whatever it is, if I'm writing an email, writing a post in the group, whatever it is, of course I'm going to be very conscious of the energies that I am putting out there. And the fact of the matter is, in case you didn't know this already, but it should be something that you've assumed already, or when I tell you, you'll think that makes sense. Every word, every sentence, every paragraph comes with its own energies. So if you swear, that comes with energies. So, where if you change it, what was it that my mum used to say? So my mum, I'll give this quick example. My mum was friends with someone in high school, and she didn't swear because she wanted to become a nun, and this was just her situation. I'm not relating that to anything, I'm just saying that was her situation. So she didn't swear because of that. Anytime anything happened where she was going to swear, she stubbed her foot, she hurt herself, things just got too much, she said, shish kebab. And ever since I heard this story from my mum, I realised you can change words. And so very quickly I started saying fudge. Very quickly. And it just became automatic for me. As I say, I do swear at times, but I'm very conscious of who's around me when I do so. Very conscious. And if I am doing if I'm doing a class or a reading, absolutely I will not swear, because it is very much unbecoming of being an angelic. So, bless works. And I'm being taken back to... I'm just about to say bless, but anyway, bless you for putting me there. But I'm being taken back to Sister Act 1. Have you guys seen Sister Act? It's a great film. Bless Whoopi Goldberg. See, now I'm just going to bless all over the place. But anyway, right at the end of the first Sister Act film, when... I don't want to spoil it for those of you who haven't seen it, but I'll just say it anyway. When Vince is being taken away, Sister Mary Clarence turns to Vince and says, I got 2 words for you, Vince. And one of the other nuns says to her, Sister Mary Clarence. And what she ends up saying to him is, bless you. And then she walks away. I feel the idea may have stemmed from there, because it's just perfect. Saying bless instead of the word that we all know she wanted to say, but in the end she said, bless you. The term bless in the way that I use it means different things depending on the scenario. So, and tonality for me becomes extremely important. Now, I'm going off on a bit of a tangent here, so forgive me with this. So, say someone comes into something really good with their path. I might say, oh, bless you, that's amazing. Where if someone's telling me about someone who does something that's unbecoming of being an angelic, I might be like, oh, bless her. You know, and because, at the end of the day, one, I'm mindful of what the swear word, the energies that comes with the swear word, but also I'm mindful that that is her, whoever I'm saying bless in this scenario, that's her path, and that's what she's doing, and that's fine. Bless her, that's her path. Ugh, it is what it is. And that's what, again, takes me back to neutrality. I'm in the monad, so it takes me back to it is what it is. So I'm not going to say the F-bomb, the C-bomb, the S-bomb, the whatever it is. You know, bless. Bless you, bless her, bless him, bless it, bless them. With the tonality. And it really works. Now, yes, I have a wonderful example about this. Just give me one moment. Okay, sorry about that, guys. So I have one example that I want to tell you guys about with a friend of mine who was dealing with an ex, and there was a bit of an issue with custody, but let's let the issue go. Anyway, my friend is an angelic, and the ex was having a rah-rah through Messenger. Bless the ex. And I'm not going to say what it was, but you know, and my friend responded with, bless you, because she was being told path of righteousness at that time. Remember, path of righteousness. So she wrote back, bless you. His response to that was, oh, what, you're getting all religious on me now? She wrote back, bless you. He came back one last time, saying, don't shove that religious CRAP on me. She said, bless you one more time. The conversation came to an end. Yeah. So it does happen. Of course it's going to happen that there are humans out there going through their densities, potentially working through their soul-core wounds. Remember, victim, victimizer. Maybe some of them are going through the victimizer portion of the soul-core wounds. It's part of it. But especially with human densities, that if you say bless, it is automatically associated with religion. And if you're not religious, there may be people who have an attitude with this. But for me, it's become so habitual to replace other words that no one really seems to get offended when I say it to them. And, you know, I mean, bless you is a very common phrase that is, or response that is given to those who sneeze. So if you sneeze, you'll say, oh, bless you. I had one person, I was working in a call centre once, and I was talking to someone over the phones, and this person sneezed. And I said the automatic, oh, bless you. And her response was, no thank you. And I'll never forget this because it stumbled me, because I love talking, I love customer service, so I loved working in a customer service section of a call centre. It was wonderful for me, because I was talking to people and helping them out and whatever else. But that really had me stumbling for a minute, and I said, oh, sorry? She said, no thank you, I don't want to be blessed. Now, as I was saying, like, oh, okay. Because, again, I wasn't attaching that to religion, it's just what you say. So, it is very becoming of being an angelic to say, bless you, bless them, bless it, bless that, bless whatever it is. Okay? Yeah, so if you want to adopt that into your vocabulary, feel free to do so. I had someone, again, will remain anonymous, who may watch this video, who was talking to me, I think 2 nights ago, thank you, 2 nights ago on Messenger, and they said, bless you to me, and then after that they said something along the lines of, oh my gosh, now I'm talking like you, which was just really beautiful. So to that person, thank you, that was really lovely. But yeah, I'm not saying you have to say bless you, but what I am saying about bless is that it replaces all the swear words, okay? Swearing leads to descension, bless leads to transcendence as a replacement. So rather than saying because I'm not going to say the word, F you, you know, bless you. Oh, bless you. Oh, bless them. Yep, bless. Bless with it. And plus, with the energies it comes with, the word, F you, hateful, dark energies coming out. Bless you, no matter how you say it, it's still a blessing. It's still much more beautiful energy that comes out with bless you than with a swear word. But anyway, let's move on and not get too caught up because I realised I went off on a tangent there. Okay, so this is how we do things that are becoming of being an angelic. Let's discuss things that are unbecoming of being an angelic. The first one, snapping. Okay, so the title of this video is Reacting Angelic and Discernment, and hopefully we'll get to discernment. And discernment, don't mind me. Reacting angelic. So, reactions. If someone's having a rah-rah at you or something happens to you and you are surrounded by others, if you are on your own, it's totally fine. Just putting that out there. But if you're surrounded by others, snapping is very unbecoming of being an angelic. It puts out negative energy. It starts a confrontation that didn't necessarily need to start, which creates even more energies. It has you going backwards as far as the path of ascension is concerned. It's really not worth it. So taking that moment to breathe really does help. And if you have your clairaudience on, don't be surprised if in these moments, or if you do snap immediately right after, if you hear those words that I was saying earlier, path of righteousness. Path of righteousness, that's unbecoming of being an angelic. Don't be surprised if you hear this come through if you have your clairaudience on. Because, yeah, I do a lot of the time, especially those times when I have a really short fuse and I'm about to erupt and have a rah-rah. I will get to the and get the that's unbecoming of being an angelic, and for me, because I'm in the monad, come back to neutrality. And that's good for me, because then, being where I'm at, I'm able to say, oh, you know what, you're right, it is what it is, it's part of the path, and I'm able to calm down with that. Snapping, unbecoming of being an angelic. Dishonesty, yeah. So again, like that 9-year-old was saying to me, the mouths of babes, I love it. As the 9-year-old was saying to me, even white lies are still lies, and many white lies lead to a very big lie. And it's out of the mouths of babes. It's so true. Dishonesty leads to dissension. Darkness. Yeah, darkness. Oh, goodness me. The amount of things that I've seen with people that is very dark from those that are on the path of ascension. Now, I do understand that I come into a lot of different situations because I do one-on-one guidance, and I need to make that point. I come into a ton of situations where I'm helping, healing, assisting, guiding others through email, through the Facebook group, through other Facebook groups, whatever it is. However, I come into these situations, but a lot of darkness comes through, and through human conditioning, they're telling me to say naturally. The natural response to darkness is more darkness, which makes it even worse. So someone goes, rah, 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 and you go, rah, rah, back to them. The way of responding angelically is to not respond to darkness with darkness, but respond to it with lightness. There is a beautiful film, the same 9-year-old told me about it, and I don't remember what it's called. But if I remember, it's called A Mouse Tale. If you haven't seen it, I do recommend you watch it. The female, it's all about these mice. The female mouse is telling the male mouse something, to get right to the point. They're running away from this shadow thing in the forest, and they end up running out into the sunlight, and the shadow disappears, to put a long story short. And the male mouse, the protagonist, says to the female mouse, "How did you know? How did you know the shadow would go away?" And she smiles at him and simply says, "Because light always beats darkness." It's true. Light always, always defeats darkness. So, respond to darkness with lightness, not with darkness. And so that's why, for me, I do that without going into specifics. You're absolutely right. I respond with lightness to darkness. Okay? Anyway, hypocritical. Yeah, being hypocritical definitely leads to the path of dissension. Corrupting others. is path of descension. Okay, not path of ascension. If you are being corrupted and you don't know this, when you find this out, I would recommend that you do seek guidance regarding this. And I have been guiding some who have been corrupted, and it has been a tough process, but the good news is that, those I have guided, they've come out the other side and it's been really beautiful. But corruption does occur. Unfortunately, corruption is leading to dissension. It's not something that we do. So like there's a group out there on Facebook, I won't name it, but there is a group out there on Facebook that that's all about totalitarianism. Very much so. One of the rules they have in their group is no private messaging anyone outside of this group. Everyone has to discuss everything right here. Which is not the case in our Facebook group at all. In our Facebook group, I actually encourage people to talk outside the group to get to know each other. So it's very totalitarianistic to do that. Very much corruption, pack and mob mentalities, all those sorts of things. Corruption very much leads to the path of dissension. Shameful. Shaming people. Oh, goodness, yes. Absolutely shaming people. And that's where my friend's response with bless you to her ex was the perfect response, because you're not going to shame with that. No, that's totally unbecoming of being an angelic. Bless you. Bless you. It's the perfect response. Shaming people leads to dissension. And as I did say earlier, swearing. Yeah, swearing as well. So bless you covers many things, but this gives you a little bit of a rough idea here of what leads to transcendence and what does lead to dissension. Now this video has gone for just over half an hour, so what I am going to do is I'm going to stop this one and I will create a new one for what we're doing, discernment. Thank you. I will do another one for discernment and release that one tomorrow. I didn't think it would take this long to go through all of this, but that's just the way it is. But so what I want you to do for homework with this stuff is to write all this down in your Path of Ascension Transcendence journals, in your notebooks. I'm going to call it Path of Transcendence Journal because that's what I call it. In your Path of Transcendence journals, write these down. These are ways of being angelic. These are ways that are unbecoming of being angelic. And add as you go along. Anything that you come into where you realise, well, that is actually a great way, that is actually a way that is becoming of an angelic. Oh, that is very unbecoming of being an angelic, and just writing it down, okay? Now, we're not going to shame others. Yes, part of the path is moving away from judgment, but from that point of view, if it's more of a learning exercise, oh, what they are doing is actually unbecoming of being an angelic. I'm going to write that down, because that's another good one, That's different to judgment. It's more learning from others. But anyway, so I'm going to leave it at that. Let you guys go with peace, love, and blessings. And when we come back, we will be discussing discernment. So until then, peace, blessings, and so much love to you all. If you have any comments, thoughts, or questions about any of this at all, please do not hesitate to email me, to let me know in the Facebook group, or comment in the space below. The details for the Facebook group and my email are in the description. But until our next class, that's all for today. Class dismissed, and I'll see you all very soon. Peace, blessings, and so much love. Mwah. Bye, guys.